Yale counsel, and Tim Flaherty, who's running for Senate, and Old Deluccio, a friend of mine.
Okay, so let me welcome everybody. My name is Ken Reeves, and I've had the pleasure of serving the people of Cambridge as a city councilor now for 21 years, and I've had the honor of being our mayor here in Cambridge for 3 different terms. So this is an exciting day. On the 11th, we had a good fundraiser here in Central Square for Tim, and at that time, we didn't have a Cambridge campaign office. And like magic, suddenly we have one, and we're happy about that, and we're happy that our candidate, who is a Cambridge man, has a good location and good visibility right here. And so we're going to grow out, and you will see that these store windows will suddenly have Flaherty signs, and Central Square all the way to Harvard Square and beyond will be Tim Flaherty country. Now, we're going to have several brief speakers. If I'm a speaker, my brief speech is this. I'm voting for Tim Flaherty because I like him. And believe it or not, in politics, to have a likable candidate, someone people honestly embrace as someone they just like. It sounds simple, but it's the truest thing. And he has many, many wonderful characteristics that others are going to tell you about. But I just like him. I think it was a kind of instant friendship, and I'm enjoying it. I can't tell you how much. So without more from me, I'm going to introduce now our Cambridge School Committeeman, Richard Harding, the top vote getter in the last election. And it was his idea that we needed a Cambridge headquarters. So thanks for that idea.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I'll just be brief, and I'd say this, that one of the things that you learn in this game of politics is that you have to figure out people who are right for the job. And I'll just give you an example. 10 seconds ago, I introduced him to a woman who I've known a long time, Gail Counsel, who's a family advocate with the guidance counselor. And immediately, he asked all the right questions, knowing her literally for 3 seconds. So what you want to elect in a person, I'm sure Jarrett will talk about this, is someone who would hit the ground running. We have no time for backsliding. The problems in Massachusetts and the Commonwealth, particularly in the Senate District and other places, are happening now as we sit here today and open this headquarters. So you need someone who can hit the ground running. An example of this is, I introduced Tim to Gail, who's a good friend of my family's and does great work. And the first 2 questions he asked her was, who do you work for and who funds you? That's a testament to what the Tim Flaherty Senate tour would look like. Someone who's going to hit the ground running, someone who understands people, asks the right questions, and hopefully is part of positive solutions on Beacon Hill. So without anything further, I think that, and I said this before, Cambridge is the place where this election will turn either way. And I know that looking at the numbers and seeing the other races that are going on in the primaries that are happening, we can propel Tim to victory on September 14th. And I would say this, that this headquarters, which is in Central Square, just a little bit out of the district, should be a place that's buzzing all the time. Elections are won now. This last month in an election, this is when you win elections. It's called crunch time. The fourth quarter in any game or any sport is right now. So I hope that while we're all here celebrating and opening this headquarters, I hope to see Miles with a smile on his face and Mr. Rubin also smiling, because people are in here actually working to get Tim elected. I often say that it's great to have people who endorse you. That's cool. You know, hey, this guy endorsed me, that guy endorsed me. But it's much better to have people in the community who work for you. And you know, and I'll tell you this, one of the things that I learned very early on in my political life, when I wasn't elected and I was working at the State House, it was Jarrett Barrios. We were up about 3 doors down at, what's the record shop up there? The record shop?
It was cheapo.
It was Cheapo's at the time. I walk into the place, I'm working for Warren Tolman at the time, and Jarrett's running the Cambridge coordinated whatever, like he always did, but I think it was, it might have been Harshbarger, but I'm not sure. It was Harshbarger. So I walk into the place, Jarrett's a newly elected rep at the time, I believe, and he said simply like this. He walked in, someone else was the head, whoever was running it, and he walked in and said, what can I do? This is a newly elected, very popular rep who had just become the new political star at the time. He didn't come in and say, I'm Jarrett Barrios, I'm the rep, I'm here to stand around and be the rep. He said, what can I do? So I just challenge us all, if we're really in tune and we really want to get Tim elected, to really come and think about working in this last 27, I don't know what the days are, Miles does for sure, but really working to get him elected. Because one of the things I've seen in campaigns, and I've won some and lost some and been on the high side and low side, is that this is a critical point in an election. This is when you can close the deal or not. And believe me, and people won't say this, but this is when elections are won and lost. The GOTV effort by a campaign, the organization, the manpower, and all of that comes together in the last 25, 30 days of a campaign is what wins election. And I honestly believe that Tim Flaherty will be the next senator representing Cambridge for the next and near future. So I want to introduce Tim or whoever else.
This is Ken Reeves, the mayor, and I am delighted to be back in my hometown with Richard Harding, my school committeeman, and Ken Reeves, our forever mayor, and Tim Flaherty, our soon-to-be state senator. Tim, it's a pleasure and an honor. I want to say a few things. First of all, Roger, can you hear me in the back? Yes, Roger, I remember you. Nice to see you again. Can you hear me can you hear me okay in the back? I want to just tell you a couple of things. One, a little bit about this district, because I think it's important to understand the district so that you understand why it is Tim Flaherty is the right person for this job, and indeed the only person at this time for this position. The Middlesex, Suffolk, and Essex district starts in Saugus on the Lynn line, Lynn, Massachusetts. It goes from Saugus down to Everett, rather North Revere. Yeah. Curves over, North Revere, curves over to Everett, down to Chelsea, jumps over the Mystic to Charlestown, jumps over to Somerville. Natalie, Somerville, we have Natalie's here with us. Thank you for Ward 2, Natalie. Comes down through Somerville, through Inman Square, Cambridge, Mid-Cambridge, Harvard Square, West Cambridge, Coolidge Hill, where it jumps to Charles to Alston, over to Brighton, to just short of the Newton line. Lynn to Newton, a rather diverse district. And it's diverse geographically, it's diverse economically. It's also diverse racially and ethnically. It's diverse gender, sexual orientation. It is about the most diverse district the Commonwealth has ever had. Now I want to tell you one of those issues of diversity that really matters for me. And it's why I sort of wheeled myself out of retirement to come to this. I haven't done this since I left office. You see, one of the beautiful things about the Middlesex and Suffolk and Essex district is that there are all kinds of folks who speak different languages, who start off their world, their life, by coming as immigrants to this country in the Middlesex, Suffolk, and Essex district. And immigration, because in some communities right here in Massachusetts, can be such a third-rail issue that we see the ugliest parts of Americans sometimes coming out, lashing out at them, treating them poorly. Kind of like what we saw in Arizona, for those of you who are following what's going on in Arizona. It has frightened me, and it has made me think, at the very least, I can speak up to make sure the person is not going to waffle on these issues, whether immigration or economics or gender and civil rights and sexual orientation, whatever the issue, that we're going to get somebody who stands up for all of us, that sees all of us as part of the mosaic of voters, of people, of residents of the Middlesex, Suffolk, and Essex district. Very upsetting to me that we have somebody right now who hasn't taken that position. And I want to see somebody in the Middlesex, Suffolk, and Essex district who speaks for all of us, whatever our gender, our sexual orientation, race, color, creed, or nation of origin. We all deserve to be respected, accepted, and valued for what we give back to this country. And I know that the person who's going to do that, representing our community, is Tim Flaherty. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here. I really mean it. Thank you very much for your efforts in the campaign thus far. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me personally. It means a lot to me personally to be standing here with these three gentlemen that are outstanding public servants. Their commitment to public life knows no bounds. Richard Harding, our school committee person, top vote getter. Ken Reeves, who will always be my mayor of Cambridge. And Jarrett Barrios, who, as you all know, was probably the hardest working legislator that the state Senate and the House of Representatives has ever seen. And I'm truly honored. I'm truly honored to receive his endorsement in this race. And I think it sends a message about the momentum that my candidacy is creating. It sends a message to how all the voters in the Middlesex-Suffolk-Essex district, what's really happening in my campaign and how we can close in this final month. And when voters are paying attention now at this critical juncture, as Richard just mentioned, when voters are paying attention, they will see this endorsement and they will realize that there is a true progressive candidate in the race. And the person who knows this seat better than anyone, and the person who understands the demands of this job better than anyone, and the person who has evaluated the candidates in this race probably closer than anyone is the one who has selected me and endorsed me by his own personal endorsement, and I appreciate that very much. And I thank you for it, Jarrett. Thank you. This means a lot to me because when Jarrett was a state senator, he worked tirelessly on economic development and progressive issues. And that's exactly the type of state senator I want to be. I want to work to bring jobs back to Massachusetts. I want to work to put people back to work here in this district. And I want to do it while respecting and protecting all the progressive values that we hold very important in our hearts. Jarrett uniquely, I think, defined the role of a state senator for this particular district, and he touched on it. This district is the mosaic of Massachusetts. The best and the worst of Massachusetts finds itself in this Senate district. And Jarrett was able to, by his own unique talents, to bridge the gaps, the cultural divides, the racial divides, the sexual orientation divides, the geographic divides of this sprawling, diverse Senate district. He was able to do that, and that's exactly what I'd like to do as your state senator, and I think I can. And I think it's the single most important criteria of whoever holds this seat, to be a senator for everyone, to be a senator for us all. So during the summer, hopefully you've all enjoyed the wonderful weather. I know I have, but we've probably done it a different way. I've been knocking doors with Miles Kennedy and Ryan Carroll and Megan Corrigan and Jay O'Brien all through this Senate district. And we've done the one-on-one voter contact that works. We've built support one person at a time, from Saugus to Alston Brighton, and it really is expanding, it really is growing. But now is the important time in this race. Now is the important time for all of us to do a little bit more, for all of us to talk to our neighbors, to our friends, to our family, and encourage them to participate in this democracy, and to make this Senate district the largest turnout of any Senate district in the state in this September primary. The election is September 14th. And if nothing else, please take this message to the people that you speak to. Tell them that there's a guy running for this seat. His name is Flaherty. And whether you agree with him or you disagree with him, you'll always know where he stands. You will always know where he stands. He's clear on the issues. He's direct when he speaks to people. And he does not deviate on his principles. And that's, I hope, what people will think about when they go to the ballot, when they decide who they're going to hire as their next state senator. And hopefully, with your support, I know with your support, and I know with your good efforts over this final month, we'll have the votes we need to win on September 14th. So thank you all very, very much.